welcome to this week's Move It installment. So furthering along our discussion on hips and issues that relate to spending too much time at a desk, sitting, not getting enough movement. Through my training, as well as all of my subsequent research on issues related to hip flexors and tight hips and tight hamstrings, what I have found consistently and what I know is that having a good, strong glute muscle is going to really help to alleviate a lot of the problems. And so what we're going to do today is a workout that I incorporate these exercises at least once a week into something that I'm doing. And they're very simple, but they're very effective. You will feel them. You will feel them in your hip flexors and your abductors and your glutes. But know that it's worth every little ounce of pain that you endure. And so what I'm going to have you do today is we are going to use a yoga block. So if you don't have a yoga block, you can use a Tupperware container. You want something that's light, that's not going to break when you drop it, or bonk you in the head like a book or something like that. So a yoga block or any type of Tupperware container that you can come across. So we're going to set that aside because we are going to use that for our core work. Our leg work is going to start in our tabletop position. We're going to work one side of our body and then the other. Some of these moves are a little off in terms of working various angles. And it's really important that you really take my cues here. If I ask for a flexed foot, you want a flexed foot. If we're pointing, then you want to point. And so we're going to come into, I'm trying to keep these workouts short because I know you want to be under the 15-minute mark. And so with these exercises, I always work high reps. So we're going to go in reps of 20. So we'll go through one set on reps of 20. And if you want more, you can, by all means, I would suggest probably if you're going to use this as a workout, you're going to want 3 to 5 reps, or 3 to 5 sets on each exercise at reps of 20. And so we're going to start out coming onto our hands and knees. And so you want your knees under your hips. We're going to drop down onto our right forearm, and that elbow should be directly under your shoulder on the right. We're going to take our left hand and we're going to reach out. So what we're doing here is we're creating a base. That base is going to be our right forearm, our left hand, and our right knee. We're going to pick up our left knee and we're going to flex our foot. All right? So we're going to lift that leg out to the side. And you want to try and keep your hips square. You don't want to open it up. You want to keep the hips square and only lift the leg. And really think about using the hip and the glute here. You're reaching out, or your weight is being shifted out into that left arm and using it as part of your tripod balance. Core is engaged here. Really think about keeping everything working with you. Lift and squeeze. You want to create resistance on both ends of the movement. Always work both ends. Last 2. Good. We're going to keep that knee lifted and foot flexed. We're going to bring the leg up and I want you to push your heel to the ceiling. Keep the hips square to the mat. Use the glutes. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. Four more. Good. We're going to extend that leg straight back. We're going to pulse up. Reach out with the heel. Two more. Good. Bring it back. We're going to bring the arm in. We're going to pop the knees wide And just allow yourself to stretch down. Think about releasing through those glute muscles, softening through the shoulders. That tripod creates a really great workout in the shoulders. Two more breaths here. And we're going to bring ourselves back up, knees under hips. This time dropping down onto that left forearm, elbow under the shoulder, right arm reaching out. Lifting the right leg and flexing the foot out for the hydrant lift. Keep that core engaged. Really take yourself into that hip and think about what muscles you need to activate to lift that leg. Don't forget to breathe. Good, two more. Keep that knee up, heel flex towards the ceiling. We're pushing up, lift, lift. Check in with your core, pull it in. Keep those hips square to the floor. Try not to lean over to the left side. Two more. Heel reaching out, pump up. Two more. Excellent, bringing it back. We're going to push the knees wide again. We're coming down for 5 nice breaths here. Really think about the relax. Release those muscles we just used. Soften and stretch. Two more breaths. Excellent, back it up. We're going to bring ourselves over to seated, and we're going to work the core. If you want more leg work, I would continue on with the sets that I was going to do on my leg works before I moved on to core. So if you want 1 more or 2 more hip pause, go ahead and do those. We're going to take ourselves all the way down onto our backs. I like to move my shoulders around and get my shoulder blades grabbing the mat. So you're engaging the back. We're going to bring both legs up, and we're going to set our block or our container or our cereal box or whatever we're using on our feet. And this is where we find out just how much shorter one leg is than the other. You can keep your legs as straight as you like. You can keep the knees bent if you have really tight hamstrings. We are going to work really deep into the core here, using those lower core muscles and forcing them to move. By balancing the yoga block, we are eliminating the ability to use momentum of our legs to lift our butt, okay, in a reverse crunch. Use your arms down on the floor. Grab the mat with your shoulder blades. This pulls the muscles across the chest open and activates all those back muscles. You want to make your workouts effective? Use your whole body. All right, so here we go. First one, we're going to lift up with the hips. Try and keep the head, neck, and shoulders on the mat, and it's just a lift and a lower.
Try and control, again, both ends of the movement. Halfway, 10 more. I'm losing my block. 2 more. And bring the block down. We're going to take it into our second exercise. Those are tough. Block is coming into between your feet here. And we're going to straighten up the legs and point the toes. Hands are coming down. Again, grip the mat. Get those shoulders pulled. Lower back is pressing into the mat. Engage those core muscles. Lower the legs, keeping the back connected. As soon as your back lifts, you're coming out of there because you're no longer using your core. As soon as your back lifts, you are using back muscles, and we don't want to go there. So, back connected, lower to wherever your core can maintain, and then pull back up. As you pull back up, lift those blocks, or lift the block over your face, and try and get a little curl on the tailbone. Little lift. Use the arms. Press down into the floor. Grab the mat with your shoulders. Keep that lower back connected. You will feel your core muscles activate all the way down from your ribs to your pelvic floor as you lower out. Four more. You got this. These are tough. 2 more. All right, last exercise in this set. We're coming to between our knees with the block. Toes are pointed again. Knees are over the hips, so keep that alignment. As your knees squeak forward, you cheat yourself a little bit. So keep the knees over the hips. Arms are coming palms down off the shoulders. Get the shoulder blades down on the mat. Nice deep breath. Exhale, dropping both legs over to the left. Squeeze that block in there. Pull it up. Really think about activating those oblique muscles to pull you back up. Good. We're going to go for 20 movements. Keep that lower back pressed into the mat. You have got to keep your core engaged. Don't let it off the hook. You're going to cause back strain. I always like to look the opposite direction that my legs are going. So just turning the head from side to side. Halfway. Good, last 2. Use those obliques. Excellent. I'm going to invite you to bring it all the way up to standing. I'm going to give you another little secret weapon that I use for stretching my IT band and my hips. So we're going to come to standing with one foot on the block and one on the floor. So your hips are in alignment, heels under the hips. I'm going to have you fold forward. Try and keep the hips square. And then we're going to straighten that leg on the block as much as we can. Some people will have it fairly loose in the knee. Others, just don't go to hyperextension. You never want to hyperextend joints, all right? So keeping that leg straight. You want to think about lifting your sit bones to point at the wall behind you, all right? This is how you really get into a good stretch on the hamstrings. Lift or tip your pelvis so that those sit bones point at the wall behind you. Once you get there, slowly make your way to wherever your stretch happens to be, whether you're on your shins or the floor, and then release the head, neck, and shoulders. Nice deep breaths here. Good, one more nice deep breath. I'm going to have you bend the knee on the block and bring yourself back up to standing. And we're going to switch sides. So, foot on the floor, right beside the block, foot on the block. Heels are under the hips. We're going to hinge forward, and then we're going to straighten up that leg on the block. So you're shifting your hips. Lift those sit bones to point at the wall behind you. So keep length in your spine, lift the sit bones, and then lower to your stretch, wherever that is. If you're here at your knees, that's great. Be there at your knees. Wherever you're getting to, you want to then just release the head, neck, and shoulders. Two more breaths. Bend that knee on the block and bring yourself back up. We're going to take the block out of the way. And then just one last stretch here. Kind of the same thing. We're going to work into our IT bands this time as opposed to just the hamstrings. So I'm going to have you bring your right foot on your toes to the outside of your left foot. Keeping that knee bent, we're going to hinge forward. Same as we did before. We're lifting those sit bones to point at the wall behind us and slowly make your way down. If you can't get to the floor, use your block at whatever level you're getting to. And you should be getting a nice stretch through the IT band along the left leg. And so fold yourself forward, head, neck, and shoulders release. Good, we're going to bring it back up. And we're going to switch sides. So this time we're taking our left foot up on the toes, over on the outside of our right foot. Hinging forward, lift those sit bones by tipping the pelvis, keeping the back nice and flat. Reach down and lengthen the spine and allow yourself to lower. Excellent. We're going to bring both feet out from underneath of us again.
I hope you enjoyed the workout. And as I said, one round with reps of 20 on these exercises is just a great way to start your morning. If you're looking for something to really turn this into a workout for yourself, you can go ahead and do, 2 or 3 or up to 5, however many you need. The other thing that I would suggest if you really wanted to start pushing these types of exercises is ankle weights. Ankle weights added, the little strap on, 2 pounds, it does amazing and wonderful things. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and I will look forward to seeing you back here in the studio for more Move It.